In this video, I'll be teaching you how to use Cami. Cami is a tool that's going to allow you to turn pretty much any document into an interactive document. If you watch my channel regularly, you know that I'm always looking for tools that can help us promote active learning. In addition to helping us convert our pencil and paper curriculum into more interactive digital curriculum, Cami also gives students lots of accessibility tools to support them with their reading and writing. Whether you're in person, hybrid, or online, Cami is going to help you make interactive lessons for your students. So stick around and I'll show you what it's all about. My name is Sam Carey and this is my YouTube channel for the new EdTech classroom. Cami works across numerous web browsers and learning management systems. You can use it with Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and Firefox. And although I'll be showing how to use Cami with Google Classroom in this video, it also syncs with Schoology, Canvas, Edmodo, PowerSchool, and Blackboard. Since I use Google Chrome, I'm going to go to the Google Chrome Web Store and search for Cami, where I'll install the Google Chrome extension. When you sign up for an account, it's going to give you access to the full paid version so that you can try out all the different features. And what I'll be showing in this video is the paid version. For you to be able to get the most out of Cami, it's important for both you and your students to have the extension installed. So if your school has, say, already bought a Cami account, then you should definitely make sure that the administrators are pushing those extensions out to student computers so that they don't have to install the extension themselves. And that way, when a student logs in with their email, they'll just see this blue Cami icon show up at the top of their browser and they'll be good to go. First, let's take a look at how to set up a Cami assignment for students. When creating a Cami assignment, you can start with a PDF, an image, or even just a Google Doc. These can be documents that are on your computer or in your cloud storage. Now, if you want to create a Cami assignment from an image or a PDF, you'll very likely want to put your own instructions at the top. So the first thing I'll show you is how to just use the text box tool to click on top of this PDF. And then what I'm going to do is just write my own manual instructions for students. So let's say, for example, that I wanted students to annotate this particular text. I could explain to them the types of annotations that I wanted them to make. Now, in addition to text-based instructions, you can also leave audio instructions for students. The way that you do this is by going to comments and then clicking audio. Once you highlight the part of the text where you want to leave your audio comment, it will automatically start recording, so you can just speak what you want to say, and then when you're ready to finish, click done, and that will leave an audio comment. This can be an effective way to reinforce instructions, or obviously to provide instructions for students that are younger that maybe can't read yet. In addition to audio comments, you and your students can also leave video comments. Just like with audio, you just need to go to comments, but here you'll select video, and then you can highlight the place on the text where you want to leave a video comment, record your video, and there you'll see a video show up. Recording video or audio is going to be a much more personalized way of creating dynamic instructions for students, and will definitely be a superior experience for students rather than just having them read text-based instructions. Of course, this is also a great way to give students feedback on a Cami document, and I'll get back to that later. One thing I really appreciate is that you can also screen record directly in Cami. So this is an option that's also available in the comments tool. Instead of audio or video, you would click screen record, and then you can screen record the instructions for an assignment and embed that directly on this Cami document. So let's say, for example, that I did want students to annotate it rather than just telling them that they need to be identifying different words, circling words they don't know, and writing what they think the definition of that word is. I can actually model that like you're seeing here for students, and then leave that screen recording on so that they can watch it in their own time, at their own pace. And of course, parents can also watch these to better understand what their students are expected to do as well. By the way that I'm writing on this Cami document is with my 1x Wacom pen tablet. I definitely prefer using a pen tablet over trying to draw with the trackpad or the mouse because I can actually write in a more fluid, natural way. I did put a link for this 1x Wacom tablet in the video description if you want to check that out. In addition to creating custom instructions, you can also add follow-up activities by clicking on the Add button underneath the document. Here you'll be able to choose how many sheets you want to add, whether you want them to be horizontal or vertical, and whether you want them to be blank, line paper, graph paper, or a musical sheet. So let's say that students just read this story and annotated the text. One thing that I might do is create a follow-up activity that has them actually sketch out on a storyboard all the key events that took place in that story. Or another idea would be to have students use the image tool to create a main idea collage showing what they learned while reading the story or article. And of course, they could also use the drawing tool and the text box tool to just mark up those collages and add some different media to them and create a dynamic way of showing what they learned. Another option would be to have students use the audio or video tool to record a short summary about what they had just read. Here, I'd emphasize with students that they should make summaries that are concise, that answer the who, what, where, when, and why questions. I used to do an activity with students where they had to fit their summaries into 10 words, and that applied no matter how long the text was. The whole point of that is to get them to practice really consolidating the key ideas from what they read. By setting up your Cami documents this way, not only are you creating a more engaging, interactive assignment for students, you're also paying yourself forward because once you create this once, you can just reuse it over and over again. One piece of advice is that when you are creating these Cami assignments, I would think in terms of having students practice using one of the different response tools at a time and then continuing to teach them about the different response tools as the year goes on. Eventually, you can give students choice, so you can tell them that they can draw or respond with video or a screencast or audio. But it's also important that before we just give them open choice, we're really exposing them to all the tools and helping them understand how to use each one of them. Now I'll show you how to assign a Cami assignment. If you want to give students an individual copy that you can easily see, give feedback on, and then return for a grade, by far the best way of doing this is to just create the Cami assignment directly within your learning management system. I'm going to use Google Classroom here to show you what this would look like. Since I have Cami installed, you'll notice that when I go up to create assignment, it's going to pull up the option to create a Cami assignment. The assignment editor looks more or less like the regular Google Classroom editor here. And after I've written my title and instructions, I'm just going to pull in that document that I just created from my Google Drive folder. Then I'll choose the students that I want to assign this assignment to and click Assign. Now on the student end, when they go to their Google Classroom and open up the assignment, you'll see that they'll have the option to open this assignment up as a Cami document. When they do that, they'll see the assignment that you just created with all your instructions and your follow-up activity. Now, we already built this lesson to be more accessible because it has audio-based instructions, video-based instructions, and even a screencast. But there are also some accessibility tools that are built directly into Cami that will help students with reading as well as typing. So I would suggest that you show students how to use these as well. The first is a voice typing tool. Students can access the voice typing tool by clicking on the text box option. And then when they go to type text, they'll also see a small microphone in the corner that when they click on will allow them to dictate what it is that they want typed out. And then there's also a text to speech feature. So all students need to do is select text to speech and then select the part of the text where they want it to begin reading aloud to them. Students likely won't know how to use these tools unless you show them how, so it's important that we let them know how these tools work. Once the student is ready to hand in their assignment, you should show them that they can do that directly in Cami by clicking the Turn In button. Now, if we go back over to the teacher side in Google Classroom, I'll be able to see that that student has turned in their assignment. When you open up the document to give students feedback, I would suggest that you open it with Cami so that you can use all the multimedia tools to give students feedback. So here, for example, all those tools I showed you for video commenting, audio comments, as well as screencast comments would be really helpful for giving students feedback. Once you give a student feedback, they'll be able to see your comment and respond. So if you're both in the document together, you can actually just be having a live conversation in the comments. By the way, if you're appreciating the tips I'm sharing in this video, then be sure to hit the like button and share this video with other teachers that you know. And be sure to let me know in the comments, what is one way that you could see using Cami in your classroom? Now let's talk about how we can use Cami for collaboration. And there are several different ways that you could do this. One is that you would take an assignment like the one I just showed and then have students do peer revisions of each other's work or give each other feedback. To do this, you might want to use a third-party program like Padlet as a place where students would be able to post their Cami assignments. They would just need to copy and paste the shareable link into a Padlet post. And then what you could do is strategically pair students to look at each other's work and give each other feedback. And don't worry, if one student goes into another student's assignment, they won't be able to edit anything or change the original work. Another option would be to set up a Cami document from the start as a collaborative assignment. If you want to make the document collaborative, you're not going to want to push out individual copies of the document through Google Classroom. Instead, what you'll want to do is go up to the share button, and then you'll want to change the option to allow people who have the link to edit the document. So for example, I might share the link to this KWL chart with students, then invite them all in so that they can all add work to the document. And again, you don't need to worry about students being able to edit each other's work. They can't. And you can actually click on each individual student's icon on the bottom of the screen to be able to see what an individual student contributed to this document. This feature makes it really easy just to see which students have contributed and perhaps which students need some additional support in order to contribute to the work. Of course, you don't have to have your entire class working on a document altogether. You could also just do this with a small group of students. Before we finish, I want to share some advanced Cami tips with you here. The first is how you could turn a Cami assignment into a digital whiteboard. The way you would want to do that is by setting up a blank document. So for example, you could take this Google Doc, and then I'm going to title it Digital Whiteboard so that I'm able to easily find it later. Then after I've created this blank file, I'm going to go back to Cami, and there I'll open up the digital whiteboard that I just created. Here you'll see that it's just going to pull up a blank screen. And now when I use the drawing tool, I'm able to draw directly onto this digital whiteboard, and I could use it as a way to teach a lesson. Earlier in the video, I showed you that I like to use a Wacom pen tablet to write on the board in this way. If you don't have a pen tablet, you can still draw with the trackpad or the mouse. It's just definitely less convenient, and you can't write in the same fluid motion that you can if you have a pen tablet. So it's something you might consider checking out if you plan to use this strategy with Cami a lot. If you're a math teacher, in addition to just drawing on the board, you can also embed math language into this digital whiteboard. And then a benefit of using Cami for digital whiteboarding rather than just a physical whiteboard is that you can do things like take a screenshot of this digital whiteboard and then post it back to your learning management system. And an even more advanced tip would be to use a third-party screen recorder like Loom or Screencastify. And then you could record your screen as you are teaching the lesson so that you could post that recording of your lesson back to your learning management system, or use it for flipped instruction or asynchronous instruction. And that's going to allow students to rewatch the video whenever they need to, and parents can also watch the video too. Plus, if you make a video like this, then you can just reuse it in years to come, which will save you time in the long run. Lastly, if you plan to use Cami a lot in your classroom, I would suggest that you change the settings so that documents always open in Cami and you don't have to always manually choose that option. And I would have students do that too. So the first thing you'll need to do here is go to Cami, and then you'll want to click on your icon at the top of the page and then scroll down to Settings. There you'll want to click the box to automatically load files in Cami. Now, if you're a Google Drive user, you're also going to want to change the settings in Google Drive. Here you'll want to go to the Settings cog, then click Manage Apps, then choose Use by Default so that all documents open as a Cami document. This will just help make sure that you and your students don't have to go through the extra step of always choosing Cami every single time you open up a PDF. Thanks so much for watching this video to the end. If you appreciated the tips I shared, be sure to hit the like button, and you can also show your support by sharing this video with other teachers that you know. And if you're looking for some additional support with how to teach with technology, then be sure to get my free How to Teach with Technology starter kit. You can get it at newedtechclassroom.com/starter kit. It has interactive videos, downloadable resources that you can take and use, and even a personalized quiz to help you understand how you can best get started using technology strategically in your classroom. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.